It is 6 in the morning on a Saturday, and my jaw just hit the freaking ground. So it is week 2. I am back out here on the second Sunday. It has been like 10 days since they've started construction. Check this out. Hey, look, there's the entire garage floor. So if I back out, you can already see how they've got a little bit of grading here. They've got like the rough grading already in. You're gonna see where the driveway is gonna come down into the street here. There's an alley behind these houses. And as you can see, that's where everybody keeps their car. Well, the houses that do have cars anyway. So let's take another lap. First thing to notice, this right here, that is made of steel. I don't know the exact name for that component, but basically that is a hurricane strap. That is a tie-down strap. So with this being anchored right down into the cement, that is going to basically hold the garage down to the ground in high winds. A lot of you guys like to know how come, how do I know that my house isn't going to blow away in a hurricane? If it can tear solid steel clean out of the ground, out of cement, that's not a hurricane at that point. That's the finger of God. Like, not even joking. But that's just one piece, honestly. All jokes aside, that's just one piece of the hurricane construction that you guys are going to see while these homes are being built here, while this specific home is being built here. And you'll get an understanding for just how rough and tough these houses can be. One thing to note, while I just happen to see this, just as an aside, if you are scoping out land, scoping out a property, and you see one of these stakes in the ground that has any kind of a red or orange tape to it, that denotes the corners of the yard. So that way, if you're like, ooh, we're gonna go look at a new house. Hey, how big is the yard? There you go. Just walk the 4 corners and see where everything is. You can already see there's like a little baby courtyard that's between the garage and the house. That right there is going to be his back deck. And over there, where all that wood is sitting, is basically going to be like a sheltered little area. And you could do a bunch with that. You could put like a little cocktail pool there. That's what they have in the model, if you've seen the pictures of the model when I'm flipping through doing the B-roll. You could put a little cocktail pool. You could put like a little outside kitchen. You could do a bunch with that. And I can't work my way into there, but you can see right there, see the steel strapping coming out of the cement? The house is bolted into the cement as well. There are a number of different ways to do that. That's just how these guys have it engineered. But it usually involves those steel straps in some way, shape, or form. So here we have a little drain. You see how right there at the side, the concrete is thin? It is extremely common. I'm not going to say they expect it to happen, but it's extremely common for that to develop cracks while the home is being constructed. It heats up, it cools down, there's people banging on things. That's how the home is designed. That's how it has to get built. So what happens is the inspector comes in, or you guys come in, and you look at the side and you're like, oh my God, there's a crack in the side. It's not actually a crack in the side. Yes, there would technically be a crack there possibly one day. All that is the concrete settling under the temperature load and the load of the house sitting down on top of it. Super easy for them to fix. But if you see that on a home, especially a new home, you're like, oh my God, the whole house is going to fall apart. It's not. That's a very common thing. So you can see that's going to be their front porch right there. And that's going to be the big bay window. Again, Little Wing can see that way better than me because you're kind of looking at it on a level. He's 150 feet in the air. And that's how that works. That's why I hired Little Wing. And that brings me to one last point. Lance, how do they know that the stuff underground meets code, right? Because say that you get a home inspection, you can't look at this and tell me whether the pipes underground meet code. Well, they've already been inspected. The county has already been out here. The county has already signed off that the electrical is properly insulated, that the plumbing is properly insulated, and it does not leak. They've already signed off on pressure testing, et cetera, the whole 9 yards on that. And them signing off on it allowed the builder to pour this concrete. Because unless the county came out and said, hey, you're good to go, if they poured concrete, the county would be like, yeah, that's nice. You're going to have to tear that out and redo it. So that's that for week 2. It wouldn't surprise me if I came out here next Sunday and those walls were up. I kind of have to resist the temptation to come in here and look because it's so easy I live like 8 minutes from here. It's super easy for me to like sneak a peek, and I kind of don't want to do that. But anyway, thank you for staying on this journey. Thank you for watching the channel. We're going to document this entire house being built from start to finish, and we're going to answer all of your questions as we go. While I'm thinking about it, if you have any other questions that you'd like answered during the construction of this home, anything at all, drop them in the comments. I will see them immediately, and I will make sure that they get answered on video. So I got to get Little Wing out of there. It's been up there for about half an hour. Batteries only go 40 minutes, so. So it is November 2nd, 2025. It's like high 50s, low 60s out with a little bit of a breeze, a sea breeze. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Myrtle Beach. And as you saw from the prior clip, I did actually sneak a peek. Somebody like built an entire house. I would like to point out that it is only day 20. 20 days ago, that was a grass field. Insane. So there is a lot to see here, and immediately I'm looking right in front of me and there's some stuff that you need to see. And I've already like snuck into the house beforehand. It's almost like they knew exactly where to stop if they wanted somebody to film it on YouTube and show a lot of the construction features that you guys need to know about. So let's go look. First thing isn't even going to be something that's on the house. Heavy machinery tracks, right? They had to get some kind of bobcat or some kind of heavy gear in there to lift the rafters up there, to lift the walls. And you know what? Look what that does to the concrete. This is the sidewalk. And you can tell that they tried. You can tell where they were like, okay, we know we're going to destroy the sidewalk running, you know, a 10-ton loader over the friggin' sidewalk. But you know what? It got destroyed anyway. So first thing, when you are getting a house built, a lot of times you're going to see where they pour your driveway and they've got your sidewalks in, and then somebody comes behind and like cracks the corner, driving like a bobcat over it, or, you know, puts like a big ka-chunk right in the middle of your of a piece of your driveway. They try not to do it, but I mean, it's inevitable. So the fix on that, and I mean, the fix on that chunk of the sidewalk, if that was his driveway, if that was his, you know, patio, if that was, you know, I mean, that's public, right? But if it was private and they're going to, even as public, yes, they're going to fix it because this is a super nice subdivision. But over here, if there was any of his concrete that was broken, and there's going to be some concrete back there in the garage, what would happen is they would basically just take that piece out and they would report for you for free. Just give you brand new concrete. And before we get started today, another reminder, I have permission to be here. You could easily get hurt, and just walking around in there, it's almost comical the number of places where you could get yourself killed. I have a hard hat on. There are like 15,000 nails lying around inside of there. Planks, like, you know, oh my God, I fell over and now I have a nail in my brain. So even though, like, say that this was you getting this house built, you may be like, oh, it's my house. Well, it's not your house yet. You got to sign papers at the lawyer. Will they let you look at it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you got to ask permission, and they have to make sure that it's safe. There have been cases where, you know, oh, it's my house. I'm just going to go look at it when nobody's around, and, you know, a nail in the foot. I mean, it's sad, but that stuff can and will happen. And you may think to yourself, well, I'm above that because I'm a smart guy. Yeah, you are. Won't stop the nail from hurting you, though. Accidents happen. So anyway, that's point number 2. So I'm going to step across. That's going to be the front door. That's going to be the big bay window that's in front. Obviously, the second story. Front patio. Daddy-o. So I'm going to get up here. Interesting. I like the concrete work. You can see where they've got the concrete already planned out, and it's already basically pre-cut. What cut? Pre-poured to have the struts in for the porch, because there's going to be a huge covered porch right here. One of the main questions that you get when you're a realtor down here is, hey, how do I know how do I know my house isn't going to get blown away in the middle of a hurricane? South Carolina and coastal North Carolina as well has the most stringent building code in the entire country because of hurricanes. And it ain't just us. Florida has it, Georgia, all the way over to like Galveston in Texas, right? We kind of know that it's coming, so you prepare for it. With that being said, this is part of it. These little straps, now you can see, before I was just showing them poking out of the ground or poking out of the concrete. What's going to happen is they're going to finish that wall, and that strap is going to come up and basically hold the house down into the concrete. Now, there are multiple features here, and it's all basically going to add up to the same theme, that the roof is basically going to be bolted to the walls. The walls are literally going to be bolted into the concrete. That's how they keep the house from basically pulling a Dorothy in Kansas and flying away in the middle of a hurricane. Now, all of the engineering that you're going to see in this house, all of the engineering that you're going to see has been pre-approved by Horry County, because what happens is Toll Brothers, and they're the guys that are building this house, and again, plug for Toll Brothers, because they're allowing me in here to do this, and they didn't have to do that. A lot of builders won't even let you come in here while this is being done. But Toll Brothers already had architectural engineers that figured out this exact floor plan and said, in order to stand up to 150 mile an hour winds, this house has to be built like this. They take those plans, they go to the county, and the county signs off on them and says, yes, we do agree that your engineers know what they're doing. This looks like it would stand up to 150 mile an hour hurricane. So go for it. And that's basically what they do. Now, side note, and I'm just sitting here yapping away on the porch. Here's another one of those straps right there. You see them at intervals all around the house. I'll take a lap around the outside. I'll show you. But That's one upside to the county pre-approving all these plans, right? The downside, and there is a downside, the downside is, hey, can I change? No, you can't change anything. Nothing. As far as like the engineering of the house, you can't move a wall, you can't install a Tesla charger, like nothing. Now, can you change out? Can you say, oh, I like this flooring better than that flooring? Yeah, during the design planning, yeah, you can do all that. But as far as like the structural guts of the house, thou shalt not amend. Okay, so I am leaving the master bath. See what I mean? Don't even play, man. Don't go into a construction site. Because there might be a 1% chance that you put a nail through your foot, but if you're not on a construction site, guess what? There's a 0% chance that you're going to put one of those nails through your foot. Yeah, it's got hospital visit written all over it. Yeah, don't play. Please don't. So, you see where they drilled a hole right there? This is a gusset plate. This is a gusset bolt. That bad boy. So what's going to happen is they are literally going to bolt the wall to the floor with that plate there, and this bolt goes on that. And they've already got some of it done out in the garage. I'll show you. Oh, what do you know? There's one right there. So again, the ceiling is bolted to the walls. The walls are literally embedded in the concrete. It would literally take the finger of God to destroy this house. It could hurt it, but it ain't going to kill it. Okay, I found what I was looking for. I'd found it before, but then I lost it. Now I just found it again. So, right up there, that's another example. That's not just a hanger, right? That whole thing is bolting itself down to the walls. And here's one that's hard to find because, I mean, they haven't got the second story up yet. Wait, you see those two little things sticking out there? I'm going to see if I can't. Wait a minute, let me cut this shot. Those two kind of fingers that are sticking out there, those are two more heavy aluminum straps. And those straps basically are like the miniature versions of the ones that are down on the ground. And that is going to bolt the second story superstructure onto this giant, dang, that thing's big. This giant beam, which makes up part of the support structure for the whole second floor. Second floor bolted to the first floor bolted to the cement. So that concludes week 3. It is pretty stunning that in 20 days, they got all of that up. In a lot of cases, and you'll see this if you're getting your own house built, in a lot of cases, the actual superstructure, that's the easy part. The hard part, the part that actually takes most of the time, is the inside of the house. So relatively speaking, the house will go up quick. Now, they have this house booked out at somewhere between 5 and 5.5 months. Again, we are coming out here every single week to make sure that the whole thing is documented. And if you have any questions that you need answered, as I try to cover up the license plate on the vehicle behind me with my head, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure that they get answered in the video. With that being said, I can't wait to see what the hell they're doing next week, man. Like, at this rate, I mean, 5.5 months and Christmas and Thanksgiving, like, house is going up fast.